Politics Tonight, where we dig and go beyond the headlines for informed analysis of major political stories in Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Political parties in Nigeria are grappling with post-election effects as some of them battle leadership crisis. The FCT High Court orders the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, the National Secretary, Farouk Ibrahim, and two others from parading themselves as national officers of the party. On the interview segment for tonight, we will be focusing on River State politics with the chairman of Emuhwa local government area of River State, Honorable Chidi Lloyd, as our guest. Welcome to Politics Tonight. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. Now let's begin with some stories shaping the polity. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, has issued an order restraining the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, the National Secretary, Farouk Ibrahim, and two others from parading themselves as national officers of the party. Justice Hamza Mwazu issued the restraining order while ruling an ex parte application argued by a senior advocate of Nigeria, James Onoja. He had in the application informed the court how the restrained national officers allegedly forged several documents of the FCT High Court to carry out unlawful substitutions in the last general election. A senior lawyer who tendered several documents confirmed to the judge that the chief registrar of the court brought the Labour Party to disown several documents used for the alleged criminal activities by Abure and three others. Justice Mwazu subsequently ordered that the four people should immediately stop parading themselves as national officers of the Labour Party.
Court gave an order today that the chairman of Labour Party and other executive who are mentioned as defendant there should stop parading themselves as chairman and executive of the Labour Party on the basis that one, they have been found wanting in terms of allegation of crime. I mean, they have been indicted by the police for forgery. Also, the chairman has been suspended by his ward, and in our constitution, in the constitution of the Labour Party, once you are suspended or expelled, you cannot be a member of the board of trustees, not to be a chairman, not to talk about being a chairman.
The four officers involved primarily now are one, Julius Abure, who is the former national chairman now. We have Umar Farouk, who is also the former national secretary. We have Clement Ojukwu, who is the former national organizing secretary, and we have Okpara, who is also the former national treasurer. They were all involved in forgery, perjury, of documents, and which we consider inimical to what the party stands for. And we thank God today that at least justice has been served. The four of them.
The Plateau State Police Command has sealed the State House of Assembly complex in order to forestall breakdown of law and order following the reinstatement of former Speaker Ayuba Abok by the State High Court. Officers of the State Police Command were at the Assembly entrance, barring anyone, including staff, from gaining access to the complex, following threats from the warring factions to take over the Assembly. The State Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Onyeka, met with the factions for an amicable resolution of the crisis and is yet to make any statement on the issue. The State Assembly has been experiencing some relative peace since Abok's impeachment until the State High Court judgment ordering his reinstatement. Justice Nafisat Musa in the judgment granted all the reliefs of the plaintiffs, claiming a ruling that the impeachment of Abok was Speaker is unconstitutional and against the House rules. In a swift reaction, the state government appealed the High Court judgment and obtained a stay of execution on the reinstatement order. The National Progressive Councillors Forum has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, to withdraw the derogatory statement he made against the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They also want Baba Ahmed to tender an unreserved apology to the president-elect or face legal action. Celestina Iria reports.
Many electoral processes do not end at the polls but continue to the courts. This is due to many candidates being dissatisfied with the outcome of the election. But this year's election has come with its peculiarities. At the just concluded presidential election, the Independent National Electoral Commission declared Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu the victor after securing the highest number of votes and meeting the required spread. Expectedly, aggrieved opposition parties and their candidates approached the tribunal to seek redress as prescribed by law. But what is worrying is while the matter is sub judice, many of the aggrieved candidates has continued to make incidentary comments and statements concerning the election and the swearing-in ceremony of 29 May 2023. Recently, the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Tati Baba Ahmed, had asked the Chief Justice of Nigeria not to swear in the president-elect. These, the National Progressive Councillors say, it is an attack on their mandate. They have asked Mr. Baba Ahmed to withdraw his statement within 48 hours or face legal action. They insist the statement is targeted at undermining the country's democracy and it is a call for unrest by Mr. Baba Ahmed.
Steps is what you just did now, to call him to withdraw his, because he's also a politician. Easy thing to the person to just quickly accept the defeat. You know, it's very painful something. So he has to withdraw his statement press.
The mandate that the president-elect have today, we are all part of it, and we want our vote to stand. So we're giving them 48 hours or else we'll take legal actions as supporters and people that voted for the president-elect.
We have the free, fair election ever in this country. We must attest that we have a credible election and we must stand firmly to defend our vote.
President Muhammadu Buhari has emphatically stated that the handover ceremony slated for 29 May 2023 will hold and a transition committee is already in place working hard towards this deadline. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest for today, who is the chairman of the Mohua local government area of Rivers State, Honorable Chidi Lloyd, for discussion on politics in the South State. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. And now to our interview with the guest of the day. I am joined by the chairman of the Mohua local government area of Rivers State, Honorable Chidi Lloyd. He was the majority leader of the 8th Rivers State House of Assembly. Lloyd was first elected into the State House of Assembly in 2003 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to represent a Mohua constituency and did 3 consecutive terms. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Honorable.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
All right. Now, let's start this way. Your decision to join the PDP came as a huge surprise to many people because you were fiercely loyal to the APC. Why did you join the PDP?
I rejoined. I'd like you to use the word rejoin.
All right.
Because the PDP was my original political party. And I did not just elect to leave the PDP. I'd like to put this in proper perspective. When in 2013, the issues of assembly, including my humble self, after it gave the party executive having been enthroned by the courts, we found succor in the All Progressive Congress. So I was a member of the All Progressive Congress from 2013 until 2020, precisely on the 24th of August, when I made a detour back to the People's Democratic Party. Because I understood that the governor of Rivers State, the Honorable Dr. Ezenwonyeson Wike, was beginning to do the things we accused him of not doing. So I didn't want to continue in opposition. If a man you were criticizing had now turned a new leaf and is beginning to do the things you accuse him of doing, what was the need in continuing to accuse him of non-performance? Here is a governor who in 4 years had built 12 bridges Today, he commissioned the 11th bridge, and so on and so forth. So yesterday, he was in Po, the headquarters of Gokana local government area of Rivers State, to commission what can go for a polytechnic in Rivers State. So I don't think, I'm not one of those who think that opposition should just be for the fun of it. That was what informed my decision to go back, to come back to the People's Democratic Party, especially when I saw that the APC had become a social club.
All right, Honorable Lloyd, you said you were expelled. So I would like to know, was there any reason given for your expulsion? And if His Excellency Yosawike were not the governor of the state, would you have rejoined the party?
Well, I did say, if you are listening, that I gave the reasons why we were expelled as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly as we then were, especially as the leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly that I then was. I participated in the suspension of the Honorable Timothy Nsrim, who was then the chairman of the Obiakpo Local Government Council. He was accused of some malfeasance in office. That was what informed the suspension. So when the Felix of one-led committee, executive committee of the party, gave us ultimatum to recall the expelled chairman, the suspended chairman rather, to office, we felt that that was infra dignitatum. We felt that the executive committee did not hear from some of its own who are members of the Rivers State House of Assembly as we then were. They didn't hear from us. They didn't ask why the chairman was suspended. They went hastily to expel us from the political party. And we could not have been without a political party in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. So we sought solace in the All Progressives Congress, which was just beginning to find, which was at its embryonic stage. So that was what happened.
All right, so, when it comes to politics, Rivers is called Rivers of Possibility. Why is politics so dramatic and no nonsense in that state?
Well, I must confess to you that Rivers State is a state of possibilities, like you have said. We have become the first in so many things. Dr. Peter Odili, as the governor of Rivers State, as he then was, became the first golden governor of Rivers State. We had the first female graduate in Nigeria, a lady Owere Daba, who was the first graduate of chemistry from the University of Ibadan. We also had Dr. G.B. Leton, who was the original manufacturer of Obunigwe, and so forth and so forth. We also had the person of Nabogram Douglas, who was actually the first senior advocate of Nigeria, and later became the first Attorney General of Nigeria in the 70s. So we have become first in so many things. And this is a politically exposed state where a lot of persons have become politically aware. You couldn't have talked of Rivers State without the mention of the likes of the Honorable Sergeant Chidi Awuse, who is today a royal majesty, who is today a traditional ruler of the Emowa Kingdom. So that informed this early foray into politics, informed the reason why the state had become politically alert. And everything that happens here is in tandem with the current realities of politics.
Mm. So let's talk about some of the surprises and intrigues we witnessed during the 2023 elections, where the people of Rivers State voted different parties in the presidential and governorship poll. How were you able to pull this off?
Well, what happened was that we have a principal here, the Honorable Inyesom Ezenwan-Wike, who had led the state very well, who had delivered on his electoral promises, which is what politics is all about, delivering on the dividends of democracy. We had a governor who actually discovered new communities. For instance, in my local government, the governor discovered a new community known as Odido, where he had created a road for a community that has been over 100 years in existence, that had never seen a road. Today, my car was actually the first car that drove into the community after the governor opened up the place. And you also have a governor who was able to construct, to brave the Trans-Calabari Road that saw motor vehicles drive into communities like Krakrama, Sangama, Ilelama, and so on and so forth. These were communities in the hinterland of Akukutoru and Asaritoru local government that would not have had the opportunity of having any vehicle drive into that community. Once the water ebbs, whoever was going home, wherever you are, you stood still till the next day. So there is no way the People's Democratic Party would not have won elections roundly. And that, I underscore that. The emphasis is mine, roundly, because we have a governor who had led from the front. This is a governor that has been, in 8 years, changed the landscape of Port Harcourt from what it used to be. He had delivered on 12 bridges. Today, the governor of Benue State, Dr. Samuel Otom, commissioned the 11th bridge, and the 12th bridge, which is the Rumokuta Bridge, is almost 98% completed, and of course will be flagged off any moment from now. So there's no way the PDP would not have won elections here. And this is a governor up to today. I've not seen any of his colleagues since talking about project delivery. He's not just commissioning, he's still awarding projects and paying up. And it is a governor that has promised us that until the 29th of May, he will continue to deliver on the dividends of democracy. So what you saw happen in the presidential and gubernatorial election, respectively, was a payback. Communities came out, local government came out to pay back this wonder boy, as I call him, this new progenitor of Rivers State, this new pathfinder of Rivers State. It's not just improved project delivery, and I'm sure you will be shocked that I am saying all this, haven't been one of his armed critics. I say this because the truths are there, is visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. That this is a governor who had stood to defend the state. You recall that this is one governor that has been able to, in the Supreme Court, retrieve the oil wells which were hitherto credited to Imo State, and also retrieve the oil wells which were hitherto ascribed to Bayelsa State. So he's not just a governor in terms of project delivery, of course, and I cannot re-emphasize this, because even the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Muhammadu Buhari, had even attested, had even agreed, without minding the fact that he's a governor from an opposition party, to say that this is the highest governor in terms of infrastructural development. So what else do you want me to say? So like I said, it is visible to the blind and audible to the deaf that Nyesom Wike has led Rivers State very well and is bowing out with his shoulders very high, if there's any English like that. So I'm proud that I made a detour and I have joined hands early, quite early. The emphasis are mine with this precursor of a new River State.
So, also, as a matter of fact, the PDP has dominated politics of River State since 1999. What factors can you attribute this to?
Well, I will tell you that Sir Dr. Peter Odili actually laid the foundation in 1999 when he became governor of River State, and thereafter, without prejudice to the political shenanigans that were there, here and there, he handed over first to Sir Celestino Meha, who spent just 6 months in office before the Right Honorable Chibikero Tibi Amechi took over. So the foundation has been laid, and Rivers State is synonymous with the People's Democratic Party. Even when we left for the All Progressive Congress, we did not have the filial, we did not have the political spine, we did not have the desired leadership to pull Rivers State, as it were, from what it was, what it is, the People's Democratic Party, to join us in this new voyage, of discovery. So Rivers State continued and remained, of course, with the influence of, we also had it wrong when a lot of people in Rivers State perceived that we did not support one of our own, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, in his second term bid at the presidency. So that became anathema to the fact that Rivers people continued to remain in the people's. To my mind, the reasons where we got it wrong. Now, having gotten it wrong, we did not also show leadership. We also had a leadership which did not bring anything from the center. Having won the center, we also are aware, even as politicians, that when Nyesom Wike was junior minister of education in the federation, he brought the first ever faculty of law in the University of Port Harcourt. He brought a 500 million naira grant to the Kenule Sarowewa, Kenule Beso Sarowewa Polytechnic. He brought the Technology Polytechnic in Bonny, which is today known as the Oil and Gas Polytechnic, and so forth and so on. So when we went into the All Progressive Congress, and unfortunately, one of us was made the Minister for Transportation. We cannot readily tell you what we brought, other than the fact that we removed the railways, the existing railways that were in Port Harcourt. We promised the single gauge, whereas we were building double carriage ways in other places like Maiduguri, Kestina, and all that. Even the single gauge we promised our state, we were not able to deliver on it. Rather, we removed the ones that were existing in Elewa and all that. So these were the things I saw, and I immediately made a detour because I did not sign up. I did not sign up for those kind of promises. I couldn't have made promises that I couldn't deliver. And I took solace in the Holy Book. Even you recall that even in the Bible, that when God told Prophet Ezekiel to go and tell Hezekiah to prepare his house, that he will die soon, Hezekiah said that this would not have come from God. And God himself told Hezekiah to put him to remembrance. And Hezekiah put him to remembrance, and God immediately ordered Ezekiel to go back and give Hezekiah 15 more years. And even the Supreme Court of America had overturned over 250 cases where it felt that based on new evidence, it recanted on judgments it gave earlier, and freed the persons who had been wrongly convicted. So if God himself could reverse himself, who am I not to reverse myself? So I immediately took that decision when I got back from the University of Dundee, where I had gone for a postgraduate study, a postdoctoral study, and I immediately came back and did a volte-face and came back to my ex-wife friend, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, who I had missed for 6 years. And I thank God that he took me back without encumbrance. So I'm better off.
Fantastic. So let's also take it from this angle. Despite divisions in the PDP and the Labour Party ascendancy, you were able to retain power in the state. I know you have talked about how Rivers people had to pay back because they could see the dividends of democracy. But then how did you keep the Labour Party at bay?
Like I've always told people, politics is about structure. A lot of people fell for the social media frenzy of P2B, and I knew that as a politician of over 2 decades, I knew that most of those who were shouting LOP, even did not have voter cards. And so when the chips were down, it was difficult to win a state like Rivers State. And when people say Labour Party actually won Rivers State and it was upturned, I asked them, how many senatorial seats do we have? How many did the PDP win? We won 3/3. We won 11 out of the 13 seats that have been so far declared. We won 32/32 of the seats in the Rivers State House of Assembly. And of course, we won the governorship election. How else do you want a man to show that he's in charge of a particular state? Look, don't be deceived by anybody. I'm a chairman of a local government. And here, I can tell you for free that Ezewan Nyesowike is in charge here. Not because he's just not for the fun of it, because of the things he has done. So, for example, if the Ezewan Nyesowike as governor, for the first time in over 150 years, constructed a road crisscrossing Rumodogo 1 and 2 in my local government. Did a road to Odido, did a road between Apabo and Ebeda, where the mother of the former governor of Rivers State comes from. Nyesowike is currently constructing an internal roads in Ebeda. How else do you pay a man back?
But Honorable Lloyd, Honorable Lloyd, Labour Party members insist
Rivers
that
State is PDP. You can take that for free.
Honorable Lloyd, Labour Party members insist that the elections in Rivers State were rigged. Did your party rig the election?
Well, I take exception to that. I hold a PhD in law, so I know the position of the law, and I know what the Electoral Act and the Constitution says about rigging. And of course, you know my pedigree. I will not find myself in anything that is untoward. There is no way you could have rigged. And let me also tell you, in politics, you cannot rig in a place where you are not popular. Only the majority can rig elections in a particular unit. So how old is the Labour Party to come and win an election in Rivers State where we have a Toknadu governor? We have a political strategist. I'm still looking for words to describe the person of Dr. Nyesom Nyesowike. So, talk is cheap. The Labour Party people can go into a frenzy, the social media frenzy that they are caught up with. There is no way any political party. Now, what you ask yourself first, how many of the seats that are contestable did they field candidates? How many senatorial candidates did they have? How many House of Representative candidates did they have? And of course, how many House of Assembly seats did they field? And of course, who is the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in Rivers State? We are not like others. We are in a state where our governor has shown leadership. And of course, we followed him. Were it not so, I will tell you that it is not so. You know my pedigree over a period of time. I'm a man who is a stickler for the truth. I will tell you the truth, no matter whose horse is down.
So, apart from the Labour Party, APC, I'm sure you're aware that APC has decided to take your party to court. Your party is...
Ordinarily, I wouldn't have responded to that because I know that was my erstwhile political party, and I was in 2019 the Director General of the campaign of the fellow you named. I know how it is. There is no way Tony Cole will become governor of Rivers State from Lagos. I'd like to ask you, first, does he speak his language? Does Tony Cole speak the Calabari language where he comes from? No. I would like to ask you, the Tony Cole school in any of the schools in Rivers State? The answer is no. Does Tony Cole have any friends in Rivers State? The answer is no. I would not like to give credence to the fellow known as Tony Cole because he doesn't exist in Rivers State. He's not from here. So that the Rivers people spoke and we spoke loudly. There is no way. Imagine that the PDP gubernatorial, the governorship candidate elect can give Tony Cole 100,000 votes and still win him. even in his local government, in his unit. So if we rigged in any other place, did we also rig him in his unit? Did we also rig him in his local government? Talk is cheap. Now he says he's looking for certified true copies of whatever documents he's looking from INEC. And I hear he said the PDP have come to block the place. And you say you won. Where are the people that voted for you? Call them to come and chase those. Those who you defeated ought to be in minority. Where are they? I don't want to discuss Toye Cole because he's a man I have a lot of respect. Because I hear he's a pastor of the Redeemed Church. But this is not church. This is politics. And he's not one of us. We've looked around. We have not seen him. The Bible says, Jesus I know, Paul I know, who are thou? He has not answered the question. When I tried as much as I could to market him to Rivers people, I still had encumbrances because he couldn't communicate with his people in their language. And you have a man in person of Simunalaye who is from Opobo, who speaks Opobo, who eats Isamfulo, who eats Ekerepoi. The Opobo people understand what I'm talking about. Even the gubernatorial candidate himself knows what it means when I say he came Nago Banegato. That the Potoyego will not understand all that. He even has said that he had elevated Isogbo to be a local government in one of his campaigns. But in all honesty, I respect him. He's a successful businessman, and I would like him to go to his business. This is politics, and leave politics for politicians like us. I was his director general in 2019, and I left. I'm sure he misses me.
All right, but Honorable Lloyd, are you in any way worried about losing your electoral victory at the tribunal?
There are things that can happen. The tribunal is not a place, it's a temple of justice. And as a lawyer, not just a lawyer, I hold a PhD in law. I know that facts are sacred. There is no way anybody who did not prepare for an election will win. If the elections in Rivers State were cancelled 250 times, the People's Democratic Party will continue to win. What would happen is that we will have more votes than we had, because all those who live around Dumbuoba today, who probably did not have the opportunity of voting for the PDP candidate, will come out now and vote. Those who were on that day in the hospital or had headache or couldn't come out or were on night duty will now have the opportunity of coming to vote for Sim Fubara. Now we will have more votes. If anybody tells you, I can bet my right arm, to think that any other political party will defeat PDP in Rivers State will be like what the Frenchman calls nous attendons le Godot.
Honorable Lloyd, I'm wondering what gives you so much confidence, given that in the game of politics,
I am a consummate politician.
Happen.
I was in the All Progressive Congress. I'm now in the PDP. So I know what it was, preparation. And I've also said to all those who care to listen that politics is not an event, it's a process. The governor of Rivers State, from inception, had prepared to bring a successor. And Ezewan Nyesom Wike is the first in the history of Rivers State that has produced seamlessly a successor in office. And he knew that there was only one thing to do to achieve this feat, was to deliver on the dividends of good governance. And Lloyd Nyesom Wike, like Nyesom Wike, you will agree with the fact that he has actually delivered on the dividends of good governance. Even his critics, even the opposition political party, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria had conferred this title on him. Who am I to disagree?
All right, we're discussing Rivers politics this evening with the chairman of the Muhwa local government area of Rivers State, Honorable Chidi Lloyd. This discussion will continue after this break. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. I still have with me the chairman of the Muhwa local government area of Rivers State, Honorable Chidi Lloyd, and tonight we're discussing Rivers State politics. All right, let me take you off from where you stopped. You have boldly said that no other political party can win in Rivers State, but some people say Rivers is becoming a one-party state, and they have pointed to your defection and Fine Bones defection. How will you react to this?
Well, but it's the truth. I left when the invasion was loudest. I left on the 24th of August, 2020, on my return from a postdoctoral study in the University of Dundee. Of course, part of the reasons why one goes to school is to be able to lead his people. I came back and I decided not to play politics of self. I got back from Scotland and noticed that the electric poles that have all fallen down in my community had been raised by the governor of Rivers State, and that the road which I could not get the governor of Rivers State to construct for me, linking Apabo to Iskit and Kin in Obudoga and Ebeda, had been awarded to a reputable company by the Rivers State governor. I thought that I would be a witch if I did not come to join him and say thank you. And on the 24th of August, I led my people to the Rivers State Government House and pleaded with the governor to find a place in his heart to forgive me of all my transgressions. And of course he did, as a consummate politician, as a political strategist. And of course he did. And I told him that was the beginning of the end of the All Progressive Congress. And today I have been vindicated. Nothing will resuscitate that political party. It's over. This is a one-party state, not by the barrels of the gun, but just as Martin Luther King Jr. said, the governor has conquered his enemies through love. And of course, even the Holy Book says, he will contend with those who contend with him. So all those who contend with Governor Ezenwo Wike are the Bible. Ezenwo Wike has shown love to it. For him to forgive a man like me means that he is godly. And of course, recall that his 95-year-old father is a clergy, owns a church. So when people say things about him, this is someone that is rooted in religion, whose parents are church owners, whose parents are progenitors of the word of God. So I'm not surprised that this is a man that carries grace. And the only thing, what happens to those who fight men of grace is that they were disgraced. That is why everybody who has fought him are being disgraced. Recall what happened recently, that most of those in his inner, in the Sanhedrin with him, who chose to join the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, have today been disgraced. This is what happens when you fight a man with grace.
But looking at it critically, Honorable Lloyd, is a one-party state a healthy development for the state? Will it guarantee maximum?
We cannot.
Hold on. Will it guarantee maximum growth and development?
Why worry when you can pray? That is what Christians tell us. The governor of Rivers State has not deliberately come out by cohesion to turn the state into a one-party state. If he has achieved this by project delivery, if he has achieved this by love for humanity, if he has achieved this by his style of governance, would you now say that it is wrong? Who attends a waykeeping opposite of a child education? So these are the things you should ask yourself. The governor has not done or achieved all this by cohesion. He has achieved them by love. And we are with him. He will have more people. You know, when people say to me that there is All Progressive Congress, I laugh. I decided not to speak about them because if I continue to talk about them, I will be likened to a man who has sought divorce with his wife and still goes to complain to the father of the wife when he sees the lady stand with another man. It does not exist. There is no PD. Are you talking about an all-progressive Congress where directives were given during the presidential election to vote for the PDP? Whereas we stood in accordance with the directives of our governor. We stood for rotation of power to the south, and we massively voted for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, we have no regret, because there's no way you can justify the fact that after President Buhari's 8 years in office, that power should still remain in the north. So you do not have any other nationalist other than the Dr. Ezewo Nyesom Wike, and we are proud to be associated with him.
So how will you describe your principal, His Excellency Nyesom Wike?
I'm still trying to, as an academic, to find out the actual words to describe this fellow. I try to find out. Most times, I have also opined in a different fora for political scientists to begin to conduct investigations into how this man is wired. Everyone here is Wike is not someone I can describe in this program. But the only thing I can say that he radiates God's grace, and that, like the Bible said, the footsteps of the righteous are ordered by God. That is all I can say. In order for me to abridge, this is the abridged version of who he is. If not, we will need several editions of this program for me to be able to fathom how this man is wired.
All right. So to add to that, Governor Wike has been described as a performing governor, but his terms end in a few weeks. How confident are you about continuity of a solid achievement by the governor-elect?
Well, I do not want to assume the position of God, but what has happened is that the governor-elect is a member of the family. That is why he chose his campaign slogan to wit, continuity, and consolidation. So that speaks volume about the person of the governor-elect. Continuity and consolidation, because he's one of us. He's not a businessman from Lagos. He didn't come from Lagos. He schooled here. He is an alumni of the University of what is today known as the River State University. His classmates are here. His family live here. He's from Opobo. He's a high chief in Opobo. He's an Ama Opusenebo in Opobo. So we know his pedigree. We are not in doubt as to his capacity to continue to consolidate on the gains of the administration of our principal. I have no doubt in my mind, albeit that I cannot read like Macbeth said, there is no act to read the mind's construction on the face. But for Fubara, for Sim Fubara, His Excellency, I can bet my right arm. And you know what it means to bet my right arm at over 50.
All right, so let's talk further. And this time about the PDP crisis. Why did Governor Wike go this far?
How far did Governor Wike go?
You're here to answer that. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians also want to know.
Put it in proper I want you to put the question in proper perspective, because I'm an academic. You know, you don't ask me a question that will cover the field. You say, how did he go this far? So if you tell me how far he went.
So as far as not supporting the presidential candidate of his party, and as far as making sure that the national chairman of the party, Ayu, gets removed?
No. You see, you are getting it wrong. You are addressing my governor with borrowed robes. First and foremost, the party constitution is clear. Section 7, sub 3 of the constitution says that the party positions in the political party will be rotated. And when the presidential candidate came from the north, it was only sensible and natural that the chairmanship of the party will come back to the south, so that those of us from the south will have what to tell our people when we are campaigning. But people were adamant to it. People said they didn't give a damn. People said they didn't give a hoot. People said they could do without 5 governors of the party who insisted on rotation of power. Recall that the governors of the southern region had met severally in Asaba and in Lagos, respectively, across party lines, and insisted on power shift. So now this was what Governor Wike stood for, and 4 other of his colleagues to say, look, we do not have what to tell our people. The PDP is founded on the principle of 2 baskets, that in terms of power sharing in the political party, when this basket moves to the north, every other thing in the other basket will move to the south. People felt they were dowagers, they were untouchable, they were too powerful. And of course, when you do not go to equity with clean hands, this is what you get. And of course, I tell my friends that no priest abdicates his pulpit to strangers. Those who came and took over the pulpit of the People's Democratic Party just got back from other political parties and watch the political trajectory of my principal. He had remained in the People's Democratic Party from inception, and he has fought for this party. Whereas we were in the APC working hard to decimate the PDP, this governor with his colleagues, the likes of Ayodele Fayose, stood tall to fight to unite the political party. Then all of a sudden came the buccaneers from Dubai, came the buccaneers from Malaysia, came the buccaneers from all parts of the country, who did not understand the principle upon which the party was built. And of course, based on one reason or the other, they hijacked the ticket of the party. And when these governors asked for what was enshrined in the party's constitution, they called them names. And here we are. We lost roundly the presidential election. So that is the best I can say about that situation.
All right, so now that Iyorchia Ayu has been removed as national chairman, what's next for the PDP?
Iyorchia Ayu was removed. I like you to put it in proper perspective. The Governor Nyesom Wike had no hand in the removal of Iyorchia Ayu. Iyorchia Ayu lost his unit in the presidential election. This is a national chairman of a party lost his unit. And what is unit? That place where you go to vote in front of your family house. Of course, he lost his word. So the members of the executive committee of his ward said they could not have had this kind a party to doom. And they accused him of anti-party activities, and they suspended him from the party. It was subsequently ratified by the state working committee. And of course, they went to court, and the court said, you should step aside. And I congratulate him. He was my teacher in the University of Jos. He was the dean of political science. And he took the decision to leave. and made way for sensible reasoning in the political party. So the way forward is that I recall that the Yocho Ayu, just like myself, came back from the other political party. So he did not know where the corpses were buried. I have a saying in the Kwere language where I come from, that a man who is not present where a funeral is conducted will probably dig from the leg, looking for the head of the corpse. So this was what he did. And now there will be sanity in the party. I pray for the Deputy National Chairman North, Damagun, who I see has taken some proactive steps by undoing most of the anomalies that the SY National Chairman has done. How could you have expelled members of the political party like as vocal as Ayodele Fayose, who has stood for the political, who had made grave sacrifice for the People's Democratic Party? How could you have expelled the likes of Chimaru Namani, who was 8 years governor of Enugu State, and so on? So I congratulate the acting national chairman and continue to pray that he sees reason and builds this party to become, to provide the team, and he has shown early signs of nationalism.
So quickly, let me get your thought on this. You once lambasted Lee Niba and other politicians for attacking Governor Wike. What's the relationship between the governor and chieftains of the PDP in the state?
I did not lambast Senator Ledogo Meba for lambasting Wike. He's within his rights to criticize with Governor Nyesom Wike. I lambasted Senator Ledogo for telling lies against the person of the governor of Rivers State. Senator Ledogo, in his quest to become the numero uno in the Atiku camp, told lies how the governor of Rivers State got thugs to come and kill him with one bullet, and so on and so forth. And when I asked my friends who are his neighbors, they did not see any thug. They were not aware of any invasion of Ledogo Meba's premises. When I asked for that from the preliminary investigation by the police, the thugs, quote and unquote, only chose to destroy the smaller cars of smaller value in Senator Lodego's house, and left his Phantom, left his Beast, left his Lamborghini, and other exotic cars. And I was wondering what manner of...
Honorable Lloyd, we're out of time, but quickly, what is the relationship between your principal and these chieftains? In 30 seconds,
the relationship is that they went El Dorado elsewhere, so genuine reconciliation with them. Okay. You know what happened to the prodigal son when he proceeded after sharing his father's property? He went, after spending all that his father apported to him, he came back and said, he pleaded for leniency. So if they come back genuinely, like most of them are doing, of course, there's one who on Wike, as a true Christian, will forgive all of them that have transgressed, provided that is the provision.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Lloyd. It's been an interesting discussion on River State politics with the chairman of Emuha local government area of River State, Honorable Chidi Lloyd. Thank you very much for coming on Politics Tonight, and we look forward to more conversation with you. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at CVCNewsNG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. Thank you very much for watching.
Itchy, greasy, and smelly braids can be a thing of the past. Introducing the new Ruwa braids from Expression. Made with 100% Nicolon. The new Ruwa braids from Expression is extremely fast drying and perfect for friction-free washing. Stay dry this season with the new Ruwa braids from Expression, now available in pre-stretch and regular braid variants and in beauty shops near you.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite